Hello everyone. I'm recording session 4, which is the first Excel, fundamentals of Excel. I'm sharing my screen with you, sharing the screen. I'm taking the file here and copy paste, Control C, Control V, and does a paste of it. And if I want to show more options here to rename it, and I rename as answers that we will work out together. Now, let's try to understand the data is here. This is the data file. So let's look at the contents overview. The first worksheet here, second worksheet, third worksheet, fourth worksheet. These are all worksheets. And together, the Excel file is a workbook. So I want you to understand the difference between worksheet and workbook. Workbook is set of worksheets. So we know that. So worksheet is one worksheet, one Excel table. And a workbook is set of worksheets put together in the file. So, and Excel version, you want to understand the version. So, go to the file and look at the more and click on the account. And then you would like the product information. You can find, the lot of information here. So, it will provide you the product information. So, based on that, you will be able to find out the Excel version here. The Office 365 apps for the enterprise. Product information is right here. So manage account, user licenses, and other things. So I'll move on to the next question here. Go back. So spreadsheet is basically a worksheet is a spreadsheet. Normally we call this is a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is more generic term than Excel, because spreadsheet need not be Excel. It could be any sheet, any software. Spreadsheet can be called as spreadsheet. Rows and columns. If you look at here, right? If you take a data set, for example, these are all the columns. And you have rows here. At any given time, you are actually in a particular work SL, SL, SL. These are all cells. And the cell reference is always kept here in the corner. You can even write down A1, for example. It will go to the first cell in the table. You write down here, and it will automatically go to their place. For example, A1000, A1000, 1000. So it will go to the A1000. You say A100 or B100, it will go to the B100. This is the B100. You can still go up and down, but you know what? You can quickly go to a particular place by just writing down the cell reference right here. So it's a joke to tell you that Excel made a mistake. Whoever did this Excel software made a mistake. What kind of mistake did they make, sir? So if I show you the cell reference here, that is a A1. It should be 1A, not A1. Why are you saying that, sir? In matrices, we always talk about the row reference first and then the column reference, not the other way around. So they should have put A, B, C, D in the column and 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Then it will be A1 will be, you know, correctly located or, named. Anyway, that's just a joke. If you most of the time we would like to fit these columns into the text width. Right now, you don't have the see here the taxable value is not really, and here the sales price, some of it is missing here. You don't see it well. So if you want to format it automatically fit in the column width, you can actually click on the home tab, and there is a cells here. I think it's a format, right? Home tab and format table. It's not the format table. Okay. Home tab, and then I should see format here, cells here. Yeah, format here. Look at that in group together into cells. So click on the cells here, and then you will column width. So if you click on that, okay, auto fit column width, automatically fits the column width. So the entire table is only giving you one of them. If I select the entire table, if you want to select the entire table, you can select a row column like that. You can select a row like that. You can select the entire table like that. By clicking on the corner here, you select the entire table. Now go back again to the cell referencing here format, and then auto fit to the column width or column width. So it will automatically adjust to width of the column. So that way you will be able to see everything perfectly well. You can also click everything here. You know, sometime you would like to put them in the center. You can select these one, but you can put them in the center. Just these controls here. So if you like to keep the data like that, just do the way you wish. Excel has so many features. It is hard for any single person to remember all of the controls. Most of the time, you just get used to some controls and use them, and then later on, when you require, you can always find on the YouTube or some other, Google software to search the feature and just do whatever you want to. Okay, so now let's go here and try to see the overview again. So the rows, columns, and cells, file types. Dot .xls. Dot .xls is a native file type, XLS. In the past, the file type was only XLS. XLSX is XML based data file. So XLS M, macro enabled data, Excel file. So that CSV file, comma separated values, the data file, just a basic data file. Likewise, there are several file types you can see here. Save as. You can also save as PDF. It wasn't available in the past, but you can do it now. Save as. Look at here now. There are so many file types. Okay. And as you require them, you'll use them. Not everyone. In the past, there were only few file types, but now it kept on increasing and increasing and increasing, based on diversity of software products now. So and interoperability of the products data. For example, in the past, PDF was not possible through Excel, but now we can create a PDF file. So, and those are the file types. Cutting and pasting. Control C, Control V, or copy paste. Control B, paste it. You can, when you're copying and pasting or cutting and pasting, right? Copy, paste. Okay. So the cell references get automatically adjusted based on whether it is a relative reference or absolute reference. For example, this cell here, go back to the home. So, for example, this 15 here is in the cell reference, 15 here is in the cell reference C22. If I write down equal to C22, it'll automatically get me 15. So I can even say equal to this value, click on that, automatically gets you the 15. So now if you move this one up or down, for example, if I move it up, I'll get 14, 13 and so on. So if I take, for example, equal to this value and move it down, for example, so like that. Any value, there is no value in a cell that is normally 0. But there is a difference between 0 and a blank cell. 0 is counted as a number. Blank cell is not counted as a number. So if there is a count function, the count will count the values, but it won't count the blanks. I'll show you the difference. Equal to count, C-O-U-N-T, and you can count these two, for example. It'll be 2. Okay. But if you remove the 0 there, like a blank, it'll be 1. So you're still counting the blank, but the blank is not really counted when it is, it's not, there is no value in there. And count function doesn't work with alpha values. So even if you put a there, it won't count. So only counts the numbers. If you want to count both of them, a as well as 15, so there is a function called count a or count alpha. Is going to count both of them. So likewise, we will see so many functions. Usually function is written down here in the corner here. So when I'm writing down equal to, and then I'll put here, for example, you see the function that is written down here and in this cell. You can copy this thing and paste it. It'll print, it'll copy and paste exactly what it is. It won't auto adjust. And I will do it most of the time. And Excel has so many functions. You click on the FX, it'll show you all the functions which are available. They are also grouped into, most recently used all financial functions, date and time function, math, database. So many, there's a database. You can even create a database in using Excel. So, and lookup function, referencing function, statistical function, math function, trigonometric function, financial function. Like that, they are grouped together. You can scroll down and see them even more. Now they're getting in the web-based functions also. So it has been increasing, and the functionality has been increasing. Okay, that's a cut and paste and replace kind of thing you can do. Absolute referencing. So these are all the worksheets that we are going to work out today. So the data set that is given to us is a real data set, I think, so which is given to you like this. So ID, address, okay, street name, registration number, sales date. The date should be like a date. It's not like a number here, right? Normally, January 1st, 1900 is a reference for the date. So that means this 446, 44,673 is the number of days elapsed after January 1st, 1900. Let me show you here. One I write down here, 1, and then actually go back and then try to format it as a date. So right click on it, format cell, and then you actually change it to date. It is asking you different format here. So I can select any other format. So click OK. It will give you January 1st, 1900, because one is January 1st, 1900. Suppose it is 2, I'll go back again, change it to 2. It will be January 2, 1900. January 3, 1900. So I'll go back again, format to the, you know, date, format cell, change it to date, and I can change it to the way it is. So now January 3, 1900. So obviously all these things, if you want to change the entire column and make it like a date, so select the entire column, right click, and then format cells, and then click on the date and select the date you wish to format. The way you want to format, that's the way you want to format. You can do this format or that format or whatever you want. DDMMYY. See, that's the format that you have now. So you can keep it like that or change it to different format normally you don't put the numbers in the date. It should be either one of the formats or the real date. Doesn't make sense to put a number there. But if you want to do arithmetic, it is possible. So the difference between two dates is basically a number of days elapsed. 2 minus 1 is going to be 1. So there is a taxable value. Obviously, it's supposed to be dollars. So you can actually select all this and click on the dollar sign. It will automatically put the dollar signs for you. Likewise, you can also do the dollar sign for you here. Okay. And you can also go back and try to put the dollar sign in the format cell, and you can write down currency instead. Okay. And you can select the way you want to display. Click OK. You look at it. The dollar sign is not kept at the end of the column, but it is, attached to the number. If you want to see that way, you do it that way. Undivided rights. Okay. These are divided rights. I think undivided rights, whatever way it is. So that's what it is. So now transaction type is a sale transaction. Okay. So those are the values of the data set. Okay. And we will work out the question number 1, 2, 3, 4 like that to finish off this exercise. So here the data is given to you and absolute referencing and relative referencing in Excel. So add taxes to the sales price next to the column J. So I would go here, column J. This is in this column. I would like to put, you know, um, sales price. Add taxes to the sales price. Basically pay attention to the question and do what is being asked rather than trying to interpret the data. It may be a mistake in the question, but you just follow, just exactly do what you require to do. Okay. What is asking you is add taxes to the sales price. Sales price column is here. And taxable value is here. You may try to find taxable value and add tax to it, but no, it's not that. It's asked you take this one and add tax 14.9975%. So I'm going to write down amount, for example. Okay, that's the answer, or I'll write down answer. I can even write down answer so that there is no confusion of any kind because the question is asked and you're answering the question. So now equal to so sales price. So if you want to add a tax to it, Okay. So multiply by bracket 1. If you want to multiply with the tax here, you get only the tax. Multiply like that. You can only get the tax. So tax, that is the tax. Just multiplied by, so the 14.999975, you got the tax. You must include that, add this to the sales price. 1 means 100%. So if you can format like a percentage sign, we put this to a percentage sign, it will become 100%. The funny thing is, when you click back again on the 100 percentage, it won't go away, that percentage. Percentage is sticky in Excel. Somebody should really pay attention to it from the Excel group, guys, and should make it like a toggle. It is annoying, as you created, you change it to percentage, it won't go away unless you go back to the format cell and change it to a number. Then it will come back to it, and you will put 2 decimal places or 4 decimal places. Otherwise, you will get a 0. See, now it's back again to this. If you want to remove the zeros now or something, you have here some controls to be able to work out. Add more decimals, remove decimals, you can do that. So you can even, okay, for example, equal to this value multiplied by 0.149975, you should get exactly the same value that you have, because you're multiplying with either a percentage or a decimal format, you get the same answer. But you want to add that automatically equal to, okay? But let me go back again. Let me go back again to the value here that I have. So these controls are common. So go back to the number, enter. So if you pull this one down, there is a corner, there is a, when you hover your cursor, around here, and then you get a plus sign, and you click on the plus sign, you pull it down, then you're automatically populating the values. So if this, you're looking at this one, for example, this is G4. G4, when you pull it down, it'll become G5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. See? G5, G6, G7, G8, like that. So when you're pulling it down, the number changes, but the letter doesn't change because it is in the same column. When you're pulling it this way, for example, the letter doesn't change, the number doesn't change, but the letter changes. See here, this is G4. It'll be H4 and I4, like that. If you're looking at it. So that is called relative referencing. Relative referencing changes the cell referencing, like ABCD, when you move it in the horizontal direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, when you're moving in the vertical direction. So you will not really change the letter if you're pulling it down. You will not change the number if you're pulling in horizontal direction. You won't, and that is natural. But you can tell the computer not to change. Okay, let me show you here. For example, if I say equal to G4, I get the sales price here. Okay, if I pull it down, you will get all the sale prices like that. So why are you changing? Why is this happening? Because G, when you pull it down, it'll still be G, but 4 become 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. Okay. And if you want to pull it in the right hand direction, so there'll be undivided right, and then the transaction type will be automatically coming here. So why is it, sir? Because G4 becomes, you know, GH4. So 4 doesn't change, but the G becomes H and I. That is relative referencing. You don't want that 129 to be changing at all. So this is G4 here, right? So what you do is, you keep your cursor on that value and, function key 4. Try to use the function key 4. I want you to look at here. Function key 4, okay, equal to G4. I want you to look at here, keep the cursor there, okay? And then I want you to look at the function key. I'm changing the function key. 1 second. And let me remove these values so that you will be able to see it better. So watch this key here. So G4 right now, G4. All right. Every keyboard has a different controls, right? My keyboard here. I want you to press the function key 4. It's not working. Equal to F4. Yeah. Don't enter. Just you write down equal to F4, G4, like equal to G4. Then you press the function key 4. Don't enter. When you enter it, it doesn't really get you. So function key F4, look at it now. It's changing. So when you press one time, put dollar sign to both of them. Another time, only to 4, only to G, only to the. So this is no relative referencing. Suppose you put both, then you enter. So this is G4, put bar dollar sign. It will be always G4. That is called absolute referencing. You pull it this way, it will be always G4. That is absolute referencing. That doesn't change at all. So I'm going to tell you again something different again here. So write down again equal to G4, that number, click on that, it will automatically pick it. But don't enter, just press function key 4. So and again, so now G4, G doesn't change anyway if you pull it down. Okay, G doesn't change anyway if you pull it down. 4 doesn't change because you put dollar. So it will be 129, 129, 129, 129 if you pull it this direction. But if you pull it the other direction, it will be changing because G doesn't have a dollar sign. So G becomes H, H becomes I, and like that. That is you know referencing. Okay, this is relative referencing. This is absolute referencing. Likewise, you can also do the other way around. Keep your cursor there. So equal to, click on that, and function key F4. I put dollar sign to only G. So anyway, when you pull it down, G doesn't change. So but 4 will change. So 4 will change. But when you pull it the other direction, anyway, the number doesn't change. 4 will remain 4. But G also will remain G. So it will be 12900, 129000. See that? So you practice this, right? This is called relative referencing and absolute referencing. Okay, relative referencing means changing the values. Absolute referencing means not changing the values. Now answer for this question is, so I want to take this number, and when I pull it down, it should be changing all the time, the value. So leave it like G4 multiplied by 1 plus, why 1 plus, sir? 1 means 100%, plus the taxes. So that means you are making it multiply with 1.149975. So, but that should not change. The 14.9975 should be the same 14.9975, which means that now you press function key of 4 to put both the value, dollar signs and enter. And you will get the values automatically entering these. See, look at this. So you added 14% to that. I'm going to show you again. You can even do in a different steps if you want. So, okay. So the tax you want to find out tax only, this one multiplied by this one is the tax. But the tax should always be the same tax. So you press function key 4 for that only. But when G4 should change, okay? So G5, 6, 7, when you pull it down. Okay? So that's a tax alone. Tax alone. But if you want to, you take the tax and the original value, you want to add them together, you add the original value here, plus, okay? Original value is this one. So enter it. So 148. I added the original value plus the tax. Both of them are added. Here I am actually computed the tax, computed the original, got the original value, added them together. The way you like, whatever you understand better, that's what you do. Both are answers. Okay? I think you get exactly the same values. The answer is done for this question. So let's go to the question number 2. So here, subtract the sales price by the taxable value to determine the difference. You want to find the difference. So first of all, okay, you want to create a new column. You want to adjust this one, double click on this. It will automatically adjust the cell width. So now I'm creating a new value here, answer. I want to put this in the center and you click on here, click on here. So now you want to do, what you want to do is asking subtract sales price by, I think from, I think there is a mistake in writing the question properly. So anyway, I'm going to subtract the bigger value minus smaller value to find out the difference. Bigger value is this one minus smaller value is this one, and you get the difference, which is normally supposed to be the tax, in real world scenario. So, okay, so don't think the other question, but this is asking you to find out that. I hope you understood it up to now. So question number 2 is actually done. We will move ahead to the question number 3. Question number 3. All right. If you want to put this like a dollar sign here, for example, put the dollar sign here. And you can highlight it to show that that's the answer. Okay. So now let's go to the question number 3. So question number 3 and introduction to logical operations, logical functions. The logical operation like Boolean expression evaluation. So Boolean value is 0 or 1, true or false. If statement evaluates a Boolean expression, okay, Boolean expression is going to be evaluated. The result is going to be either 0 or 1 or true or false. So we are going to evaluate the Boolean, okay, expression. All right. Okay. So I'm going to double click here so that it will adjust to the cell width. Okay. In the column J, I'm going to write down the answer. Okay. And I want to put that in the center. And okay. So what you want to do, sir, write undivided in the column J is the property is undivided. Okay. So this is undivided, that is divided. Whenever you see a number in there, it is undivided. Otherwise, it is divided. So you can write down a if statement equal to if, all functions start with equal to sign. Okay. If, open bracket, the logical test, you want to find out if this value, okay, is equal to nothing. Nothing is double quotes, two double quotes, like that, is nothing. If that is nothing, then what? You want to comma, you have to put comma. It's helping you here. Look at it. The format of the if statement is you need to put a bracket in there. So logical test you need to write out and then put a comma and the value if the condition is true and the condition is false. If this is true, if it is blank really, it is actually divided. You should put that right down in the quotes. Divided. Okay. Otherwise undivided. Okay. Otherwise you don't even need to write. If you want to pick this value all the time, I can actually put absolute referencing for that and close the bracket, you get the same answer. Or you write down undivided in double quotes. So divided. You want to put that in the center, put that in the center. But just by clicking on it here. You want to height adjustment, okay, the center adjustment. Double click on it, it'll automatically work. And double click on this, it'll automatically adjust the cell width. So that's the answer for this question. Okay, so let's go to the question number 4. So what is he asking for the question number 4? Count the number of transactions. So when you try to count the number of transactions, okay, you can use count function. So if you make sure that you're counting the values which do not have the blank values, a column, any column you can count because you get the number. So I would count these ones or these ones. You get the same value, but don't count these values because these values you get only 2. So you are actually trying to find out the number of transactions. Okay. So I'm going to, where are you going to do it? Right now here, I think, right? I'll write down here. So double click on this here. So it'll go here. I'm going to write down answer to the question. Maybe better to answer this question right here. Count the number of transactions. Answer. I can put, I can actually make it, always make it a little bit look better looking. Equal to count, COUNT, and the value transactions. Don't count these anything else. So starting from here, Control Shift down, Control Shift and down button. It'll automatically go to the end of it. Okay. Because you are not going to pull it down or up, you can leave it like this. Otherwise, you have to think about relative referencing or absolute referencing. So if you want to put this in the center, I always try to make it look better. So 16 is the answer for this question. Number of transactions is 16. So let's go here now to another question. So count the number of transactions for the street Athlone. So that means you want to count conditionally. There is a function called count if function. You should use that function. Count if. And there is a count ifs also, if you want. Any one of them you can use. Count if or count ifs. Okay? I'm going to use count ifs. Count ifs is better than count if. Count if is written by somebody. Count ifs is written by somebody else in the software development team. So whoever did the count ifs did a better way than the other. Just by experience, you understand. So criteria range and criteria. Okay. So you want to really count if it is okay athlone and select from here till the end. So or you just do what you do is control shift down will automatically select for you and only if it is athlone. So I can click on the athlone. Why do you want to write it down? If you write it down, you make a spelling mistake, you lose. But if you click on that, it will be athlone for sure. So there are three transactions which are athlone. So that's the answer for this question. So depending on the need, you have to use the right function. So there are several functions. As you're practicing more and more, you get to know more and more functions. You become more and better in Excel skills. Excel skills is extremely important. So I, as you know, I come from industry. I was working for, you know, SITA, Associate International of the Telecommunication Aeronautics, and also I worked for Tata Consultancy Services. So when I was traveling for a business trips in the morning, right, I normally wake up in the morning 4 o'clock and take a flight, and then all the executives travel at that point of time. Everyone beside me who sits down, they're preparing for the meeting on the day, and we most of us work on Excel. Okay, by the end of the day, we travel back again. Also, most of the time, a day trip to Atlanta, a day trip to New York, and so on. Okay, so count the number of transactions for which the property is not undivided. You know each thing, right, that you're working on, you can do in so many different ways. Okay, all right. So divided here is a blank. So you can count blank if you want. All right. So or count the number of transactions and subtract the number of okay, undivided ones. You get the divided ones. Either way you do, you get the same answer. I'm going to use count blank. See, it's telling you to use count blank anyway on the top. Okay, it's telling you to use which function and so on. Okay, so now I will just write down here and I use the count blank function. It doesn't need to be capital letter. You can write down a lowercase letter and double click on it, it will automatically pick up and you take the range of it. And in that, the number of blanks you're counting is 7. Okay. So here we use count blank function. Here we use a logic. We use a logic here. Count ifs. You know there are so many ways you can actually do this. Okay. I can teach you. You know so many different ways of doing the same story. I can use filters, for example, to do the same thing and count them. You can use pivot tables. And those are a little bit more advanced, but I will teach in this course. Okay? Pivot tables, and other things. So now question number 6 is done. Question number 7, unique function. When you have here so many streets here, right? You can find out which all the streets unique names to it. There's a function called unique. So it will list all the unique names. So equal to unique. So unique is the function. And select all the control shift down. Control shift down. So all those are selected and enter. You get all unique names automatically here. It's not repeated. These are all the unique names in that set of values. So that's the answer for this question. Okay. And you want to find out the, here, what is the question number 8 now, right? So percentage. Percentage basically is value divided by the whole number is a percentage. So what is he asking you? Average taxable to sales ratio. So taxable and sales ratio. Let's look at here. Taxable value is here. I double clicked on this, double click on this corner here. So it price sales price. Double click on this one also. And now you want to find out the ratio or a percentage. Ratio can be seen like a percentage, right? So what kind of ratio you want to put in, sir? So taxable to the sales price. This one divided by that one. Okay, and it is a relative referencing because when you double click in the corner, you should automatically do the same thing for the entire column. Okay, enter it and go back again, press the double click again here. So you got all the values which are in the percentage or ratio. So now you take the average of all these values. That's what is the answer is. You take the average of all these values equal to answer, right? Let me write down answer equal to, okay, average of all these values. Control Shift up arrow. And I don't want the all the values. You can pull it down by 1 like that and enter. So you got this decimal value here. You want to change it to percentage, click on the percentage sign. 82%. That's the answer. You want to put 2 decimal places, you can always increase this like this. 2 decimal places. It's always, better to keep 1 or 2 decimal places. But don't forget that even though the Excel is displaying 82.29%, it is not really 82.29%. It is the entire number. Don't forget that. Even though it is showing you 82.29%, it is not 82.29%. It is actually whatever number that is. Let me show you an example to elaborate that. For example, okay, 1.5. I wrote down 1.5 or 1 point, yeah, okay, 1.5. All right. So this one 3 multiplied by 1.5 is going to be 4.5. See that 4.5. But for example, if I change this number, just formatting it, so that is 2. But this is not 3 multiplied by 2. It is still 3 multiplied by 1.5. So this is 1.5. Even though it is showing you 2, it is 1.5 actually. You understand me? Like that. So careful when you see appearances are deceptive in Excel in a right way. So rounding the number here. For example, there is another worksheet for rounding the number. Rounding. So let me show you here. So round the undivided rights percentage to integer. So you want to round it to integer. If you round it to integer, obviously this undivided thing you wanted to round. But obviously it's going to be 0, all the zeros here, because this is point something, and this is actually not rounding it to, so it's going to be all zeros. Double click. So the answer here, that's what you are trying to do, put it in the center. Click on this here, click on this here. Now equal to round. So that round is a function. Round up, round down. Okay. If you round up, this will be 1. If it is round down, it will be 0. So you have round up, round down, round. Round is real round that you already know. ROUND. Okay. And divided, undivided, this is what you want to round it. How many decimal digits you want to have? 0 decimal digits. So that is 0. And you put that in the center, for example, click on this, click on that. Double click on this here. It automatically computed for all of the values. So that's for the answer for this question. So you can also do the same thing. Okay, rounding. There is an integer function if you want to make it like an integer. Okay. Let's try to do it. Equal to int, alright, number. You write down and divided, undivided. That's the one. Enter and double click on it. See, they all got the same answers. Okay, all right. You just do what is being asked to do. Okay, question number 9 is done. Question number 10. Write undivided in the new column J for the property is not undivided. So I'm going to make it, double click on it, double click on it, and J here. So now I just go back to the 11, question number 11. Question number 10, I think, right? Question number 10. So now you, yeah, write undivided in a new column J if it is not. So not, you have to use the not function. That's what it's telling me to do here. So you don't really need the not function to answer the question. Okay. All right. You do the other way around. I can use the not function. Okay. And if I say equal to not, okay, is this value equal to blank? If it is not blank, then it says true. Okay. So H4 equals to blank is actually true. And then not is going to become false. False. See that? You don't put not here, it'll get you true. Because this is a Boolean expression. We are evaluating the Boolean expression. It's true. But if you put a not mean negation. Negating whatever is this one here is going to be negated. It's false. Okay? But if you want this one to put it in an if statement, you can put an if statement. If, open bracket, and a comma is true action. If it is true, what do you need to do? Undivided. Otherwise, divided. You don't need to write, I think, anything. If it is, so double click. So that's the answer for this question. I hope you understood it. So I use the not function for sure. I'm checking here. Okay. And you can do the same question in a different way also. Control C, copied it. And I will go back here and paste it. Control V, pasted. Careful, if you copy this one, it will not change any of the referencing. But if you copy and paste, it will change the referencing. So right now, I copied that, H4. So if you copy and paste, Control C, Control V somewhere, it is not going to get exactly the same value. See here, I pasted here. So it became J6, not, okay? So whatever is written down there. So whatever is written there is H4, not J6. You want to get the H4 like H4 exactly, copy this, the text, and then paste it wherever you want to. And again, pasting should be exactly here you paste, not inside the cell. So now you got this. So I can actually put this one, okay? Instead of writing down not function, you can even write down, instead of writing down equal, you can check not equal to, this is not equal to, this one is not equal to. Equal to is equal, but not equal to. Not equal to nothing, it is undivided. See that? And double click on it, you get the same answer. So, and double click here, it become bigger. Double click on here, it become bigger. So, I hope you understood this. This is a not operator. Okay? And this operator, understand the difference between operator and a function. This is a not function. It is not an operator, it is a function. Function normally has a bracket. A function has a name, a function has a name, and put a bracket there. Whenever you see that parenthesis, that is on the left hand side to it is the name of the function. So I hope you understood this question. Let's move ahead to the next question, which is question number 11. Okay. What is he asking us? Freeze panes. Freeze panes. Let's look at it. I'm going to show you freeze panes. Freeze the top, table's top row. So right now, on the top row is only freeze panes. So you want to see that all the time. If you're pulling it down like that, freeze panes will go away. See that? It went away. You don't have the freeze panes here. So, but you want to see that line all the time. Even if you're moving it up, the first line should be shown as that. So that is freeze planes. So what you do is keep your cursor there like that, select it, and then click on the view and click on the freeze panes, and freeze top row. And when you actually pull it down, the freeze panes won't go away. So that's all for this question. He's only asked you to do the top row. But let me show you a little bit more than that. Okay. If I select this one like that, keep selecting this one, and then first of all unfreeze and freeze again. View, freeze, unfreeze first, and then refreeze it. Freeze pane. Don't put top row or top column. So first column. So freeze pane. So it'll automatically freeze panes for the entire first piece of the segment here. So that means these three lines will not go away if you scroll down. I think you like to keep that. Likewise, I will unfreeze it. Now I'm going to show you. This is only demonstration, not the answer for the question. So unfreeze, I removed everything freezing. So I can freeze only the first column, not the remaining column. First column. So, so if you move this one now here this way, the first column will never go away. It will stay there. Okay. Unfreeze it. Get back again. You want to have more than one column to be frozen. So select the column that you want to really keep. These three will be kept. So now freeze again. Now you move this cursor the right direction. So the three columns will be there. And you didn't freeze the top one, so you will go away. But I want to freeze both of them. Unfreeze first. Keep your cursor a place where, okay, I want to put it here, for example. Here, for example. Which means that these three lines should be frozen, the top, the thing. And also these two columns should be frozen. So because I put it here. Now go back again to freeze. So now, so if you go this way, the first two columns will be kept all the time. If you go this way, the first three rows will be kept all the time. I think probably you like this kind of, you know, formatting rather than other formatting that he's asking in the question. Maybe you know what, whichever you want. Okay, to answer the question, he asked you to freeze only the first top row. I will only freeze the first top row. That's it. So now you pull it down, it freeze panes will be there. So that's the answer for this question. Question number 12. So I'm going to question number 12. Okay, self formatting and conditional formatting. So what is he asking you here? You use conditional formatting to highlight the price, sales price above the average. First of all, you want to find out the average sales price, average, okay, equal to, okay, average is a function, open bracket, sales price. I think this is the one here, right? This is the sales price. Control shift down, control shift and down, select all of it, enter it. So that is what the sales price is, the average sales price is. Okay, all right. So now the average sales price, if it is above that, okay, you can highlight it. Okay, conditional formatting to sales price above the average value. So you can even write that value hard-coded 10, 20, 6, 48. So now what I do is, so select this column here, okay, double click on this, and then home button, conditional formatting is, okay, where did you keep these features? It's very important to remember them, because in your kitchen when you are working out the cooking, so different ingredients you put in different places, and you need to find out where you put in. Always like this, even in the Excel, so the features are kept in different places. You need to find out where the feature is, and they are organized into tabs here: home tab, insert tab, and a draw, page layout, and so on. So now our question is conditional formatting, highlight the cell rules. There are so many rules you can use. Clear the rule. If you want to remove the rules, clear the rules, manage the rules. Greater than certain value here, right? So you give the value that you really wanted to keep. So what is the value you wanted to keep? Okay, equal to this value. I'm not sure whether it will take it. Yeah, it takes it, no problem at all. So you took it. Absolute value also you put dollar signs automatically. He's intelligent. So you want to change this one to light green. So click OK. Because you put this one, the entire column you selected, okay? Here you put a value there above the thing, you will really be green. See that green? Automatically put the green. Remove this, it will automatically white. So that's it for the question. Question number 13. Okay. What is the autofill and flash fill? Okay. There is a autofill is like, for example, you write down Sunday and then you try to pull it down, it automatically changes the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday like that. Even if you put sun, it will recognize that as Sunday. And you pull it down. Likewise, months also, you will say January, Jan, it will automatically understand February, March, April, May, June, July. So this is autofill. Even if you write down 1 and 2, for example, and you automatically get both of them selected, it will automatically do the sequencing. So you put 1 and 3, for example, it will maintain 1, 3, 5, and so on. and you pull it down, it will become 5, 1, 3, 5, and so on. So it will automatically filling it for you. Okay. There is a fill series if you want. If you want to put 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 with the steps and so on, I can write down 1 here and put it in the center. And then you click on the home button. In the editing here, there is a fill series. And you can actually put the series there. And is it a column? Yeah, it's a column. Step value, I want to put 2, not 1, 2. And the stop value, wherever you want to stop. Maybe you know what? 1 million. You can even put 1 million if you want. 1 million. Click OK. You got all those values automatically filled in. Control Shift down will show you the last value is that. Because 1 million is 999,999. So like that. So I can delete all of it by selecting this and delete it. So this is auto fill function. Ways of filling an auto function. Flash fill. You put in here, okay, and you put in here, and then Control E. It will automatically recognize and fill it for you automatically. Okay, Control Z is going to remove it. Control E. So what did I do? Control E button. Control Z is Control E. Let me show you here. CNTRL, control button, and then followed by E. If you press that, it will automatically recognize the pattern of this and then automatically fill this. Control E. Okay? He did it. And you look at here now, it actually did. Put them together. You can even write down by hand. Okay? You can even write down here. So 7309 Aberdare, enter, and 583 Algonquin. Don't make any mistake. If you spelling mistake, then you will not really do the job. 759 Algonquin, 58. See, the minute I read on 58, it recognized automatically the pattern and then gave me. I enter, I will keep it. That is flash fill. Okay. You can even flash fill also works in so many different ways. So I wrote down here. I wrote down only one of them and Control E. It will automatically recognize. You don't need to write down so many of them. Control E. You can even put Control Shift down arrow. You can even put the first character of this one and this one. I can then it'll automatically do it for you. Our first two characters. So 3 Al Aberdare. Aberdare. I wrote down like that. Now Control E is going to get you automatically the first one and the second. So you can do that also. I hope you understood it. So let's answer the question and then move. Control Shift down arrow. And you can even put ampersand if you want to really put them together. That's the only thing what you want to do. You can put ampersand or concatenate the other functions, which is now I'll put 309 Aberdare and Control E. Enter first and then Control E and enter. And you got this. Question number 13 is already done. Okay. Question number 14. So this is the data validation in the data tab that you have. So there is a list of the values which are given to you here, interesting, interesting, not interesting. You will be able to select it automatically. The question creates a drop-down menu in the column J and restrict the values to only 3 values. And let me do that for you. So he already did it for you, for some reason. I don't know why he just left it for you. The answer is right there. Okay? He already did it in this column. So I'll create another column, insert. Insert is select the column where you want to insert a column. Insert is going to insert a column. So J now is inserted column. That's where I want to put the answer for you, right? Isn't it? I want to create a drop down menu in this column. Okay. There are three values you put in here. Okay. And selected the entire column here, for example. And click on the data tab and data validation here. Look at the data tools. Click on that and the data validation comes in here. So input message you can put. If anybody puts in, okay, enter your status, enter what you like, what you think. You can put a input message if you want. And whenever you are not really putting the right value, you can even give an error value. It could be warning, error, information. And setting of this value, what is it? So you can put a whole number, decimal, or a list of values you want to put in. List of values. And the source of the values, you can even write down manually here with a comma notation or select from where you actually typed in here. The three values. Click OK. And you already created it. See here? You can select what you want. And go to the next one. This is a drop down menu you created. So when you are actually doing it here, for example, select the entire thing, go here. You can even prompt the user to do something for you. What do you want to write? Input message, for example, please enter, please select your opinion or enter what you think. Please enter what you think or select is better, I think, because the drop down menu. What do you think? So when you hover your cursor, it will automatically say that's what it is. So when I put my cursor here, for example, see here. Ah, let me see again. It's supposed to give you hover your cursor here. Because you are selecting the value but not entering the value. That's why it's not really working. Data validation. Is my input message there? Yeah. Oh, I see. This is the title of it, but not the message. Control C, Control C, Control V. The message is here. I wrote down here. So now our title can be opinion. And then click OK. So let's now see here, the minute you come here, it's asking you opinion. So select what you think. Your opinion, select what you think. So now you can select what you think. You can put a thing like that. You can even put a warning or something if you do anything wrong here. I think that's the end of the 14 question number 14. So I think I stop my video here and I post the video for you. I hope will be happy with this. Thank you.